Welcome, everybody. I'm Tyler Matheson, in for Melissa Lee, coming to you live from Studio B at the NASDAQ market site. On the desk tonight, Bono and Ison, Karen Feinerman, Courtney Garcia, and Guy Adami. Folks, welcome, everybody. Happy New Year.
Tyler,
good to be with you.
Nice to have you.
We start with a magnificent 7 meltdown led by losses in Apple, the iPhone maker dropping more than 2.5% today. Biggest loss, by the way, since October, and shedding $100 billion in market value in the process. A cool 100 billion. The stock has now dropped more than 6% from the all-time high it hit just a week ago, back when we were counting the ticks to the $4 trillion market cap mark. It closed at less than $3.7 trillion. That's not so bad when you really think about it. Apple's weakness dragging down the broader market on this first trading day of 2025. Major indexes all down, though off their worst levels of the day. Fractional declines, really, in percentage terms for the big three. S&P touching its lowest level, by the way, since election day. So does this sort of choppy start to 2025 portend an end of a 2-year mega rally? What do you say, Karen?
I hope not. First of all, it's so nice to have you in your retirement.
Here. In my
to
retirement.
Have you back.
Yes.
That was such a beautiful
They said we need an old guy. We need an old guy, and Neil Cavuto just wasn't available.
But I mean that send off a week or two ago, whenever it was really not a dry eye and easy. Anyway, we're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
What were we talking about?
Off the
Apple?
bench.
Yeah.
We were talking about Apple and the Magnificent Seven.
And what is this? I'm long the Magnificent Seven.
What do we think about the market for this year?
I don't want to extrapolate anything from what happened today.
It would be a risky thing to do.
Yes, it would, and make for not such a good show for the rest of the year, I think. But I like the ones that I own. Apple, I think on this desk we haven't loved Apple primarily because of price, the sort of the disappointment about AI and whether I don't know when we're really going to see phone sales take off because people love the Apple AI experience. I don't know.
Who wants to take a bite at Apple?
I'll take a bite.
All right, go.
I might spit it out.
All right, you might.
But I will take
choke
a bite.
on it.
I'll see if I can chew this one down. So, listen, I think Courtney and I were on the show, and the other two panelists. I know we hate that word, but we're a family here. But the other two members, I think collectively we've said, listen, there are times where Apple is a legitimate trading vehicle. It oscillates. There's times to get in. And if you've been long, that same volatility makes it very tough for you to time when you're going to get in and out. So if you're a believer in the long-term secular story, it's one that you should own and hold on to. Now, for those of us that have sat on the sidelines, I'll be the first to raise my hand. I just don't understand what the real drivers of the super cycle are. And if AI is the catalyst behind it, I can understand that they don't have the same CapEx spend as some of the other Mag 7s. So there's a floor there. But in terms of what's going to take what is already a fully valued company to the next level and lead to for me, PE expansion, I don't think AI is a story yet, or I don't see it. And until
for
I
Apple,
do,
you're saying?
For Apple specifically.
And they're having competitive issues in China, right, where they've had to lower their prices to compete with Huawei and other. By the way, I was in Europe last summer, and I saw some of those Huawei phones. They are cool looking.
Did you grab one?
I love them. I'm telling you, I like that phone. But at any rate, so they've got issues there, and there are questions about how well this latest phone is selling in the U.S. and whether it's going to like.
Yeah, I mean, headline risk, without question, it is great to have you, Tyler, and your legend will only grow in retirement. But I'll say this, if you think about the things that I got wrong last year, and clearly there were many, but passive investing, you don't realize the magnitude until you start to see the numbers. And $1 trillion made their way into ETFs and mutual funds last year, which was a record. Apple wins to this. They're in 487 ETFs. 410 of which Apple's one of the top 15 holdings. So as long as money flows in, Apple will almost by definition go higher. But that doesn't mean valuation makes any sense. And, Bono just spoke to that. I mean, you're talking about a company that was a growth company 9-10 years ago. It was trading at a ridiculously cheap valuation. It was trading in the low teens. Now that it's become sort of a value stock, it's trading north of 30 times next year's numbers with EPS growth maybe at 12%. 8% revenue growth doesn't make a lot of sense. So they win in this environment, but be careful if it flips, and that's one of my biggest concerns of 25.